Hello everyone, I am Dr. Fawzul. I am giving some series of lecture for the course Probability and Statistics. So in the previous lectures, we have discussed about some measures of dispersion like range, variance, standard deviation, then quartile, right? All these things we have discussed in the last class. So in this lecture, we are going to discuss two more parameters that are also going to describe the distribution, the shape of the distribution, right? So the first one is the skewness. It is also one, as I mentioned, it is also indicate the shape of a distribution. What is that? So a skewness is a statistical measures that describes the degree of asymmetry or the departure from symmetry of a distribution around its mean. So basically, we'll discuss about it. Just hold on. In a perfectly normal distribution, the data is symmetrically distributed. Yes, we have seen it in several times. So if it is a normal distribution, the data is very much symmetrical, right? It is a bell-shaped curve. And in this case, the skewness is 0. Now, if the distribution has a long tail on the right side, and we call it as positive skewed, it means that the most of the values are concentrated on the left, right? So if you have, for this case, like if you have the distribution in such a way that if it is like this, so it has a long tail, right, in the right side, and you see that most of the data are values are concentrated on the left, right? So in this case, we called it as it is as a right, like it's a positive skew. And conversely, a long tail in the left side, a long tail on the left side, which we call it as negative skew, it indicates that the values are concentrated on the right side. So in this case, it will be like this. So it long tail in the right, in the left side in this case, right? So here this will be there, and most of the data will be concentrated on the left hand side, right? So in this case, it is a negative skew. And if it is a normal distribution, we have seen that it is a very much symmetrical about its mean. So in this case, it is just simply like a normal distribution. In this case, the skewness is 0, right? So yeah, this is the one. So mathematically, using our formula, how we can understand that, okay, whether it is negatively skewed or it is no skewness, like skewness is 0 or it is positively skewed. So if the data are symmetrical, then we will see that mean, median and mode, all three are equal. And if it is a positively skewed, then mode is less than median, less than mean. This kind of thing we already discussed in some of our earlier classes also. So in this case, it is these things, right? So mode value is less than the median and it is less than the mean. In this case, this value is like it has a long tail in the right hand side. So it is a positive disk. And if your mean is less than median, less than mode, like in this case, the mode is here, whereas mean is the smallest one, and then median, and then mode. In this case, it is a negatively skewed. The data are, it has a long tail in the left hand side. Right. Now, we should have the formula to find them. How to find them? That whether it is a positively skewed or not, right, or negatively skewed or not. So we have a parameter called curl Pearson coefficient of skewness. This skewness of can be calculated using this curl Pearson coefficient, which is denoted by SK. And it has two formulas. One is using mode. So the curl Pearson coefficient Sk is equal to defined by mean minus mode divided by standard deviation. And it has another formula. If the mode is unknown, then it is 3 times mean minus median divided by standard deviation, right? And then again, if your this Sk value is greater than 0, therefore mean must be greater than mode, right? Or the Sk value is greater than, so mean must be greater than median. In this case, it is positively skewed. We discussed in the last slide. So rightly skewed distribution, long tail in the right side. And if Sk value is less than 0, then we'll say it is a negatively skewed. it has another formula also, that alternative skewness calculation. So that curl Pearson coefficient of skewness Sk is equal to mu3 by sigma q. What is this mu3? It is 1 by n summation I equal to 1 to n xi minus x bar whole cube. See, this formula you have seen, right? If in case of a variance, this was 2. But for mu3, it is 3. Right? So it is a similar kind of a variance formula with the power value is actually 3. So in this way also one can find the skewness. This mu3 also we called it as third central moment. Right? And the sigma is the standard deviation, that is the usual notation. So once we have the formula, then we can easily solve the problem. Right? Now look at this problem. Now this is the problem that we have discussed from the beginning already, right? Mean we have calculated from the problem. So if you look at the previous lectures, you could have seen that mean we have calculated, mode we have calculated, variance we have calculated, standard deviation also we have calculated. Therefore, we can easily get the skewness formula called Pearson coefficient. It is mean minus mode divided by standard deviation. So I'll just show you, like as you said that we already calculated mean in some of our previous lecture, mode, variance, and if the variance is there, standard deviation, then the curl Pearson coefficient formula, the first formula you have used. So it is mean minus mode divided by standard deviation. And in this case, we have seen the value is actually negative. Therefore, it is negatively skewed. So it has long tail in the, so the distribution of this curve has long tail in the left hand side. I hope it is clear. Then if you have understood, you can easily find the curl Pearson coefficient for this data also. It's actually basically it's an ungrouped data. So mean you can easily find out, mode also you can find, then variance you can do, right? So this one you just take it as your practice problem. So please solve it by your own. So look at the, make the video pause and keep the screen open and please solve it. Now I'm going to discuss another parameter which is again describe the shape of the distribution called kurtosis. Now what is that kurtosis? So a kurtosis is a statistical measures that describe the tailness or the extremity of outliers in a data distribution compared to a normal distribution. So it measures that compared to a normal distribution, how the data, the shape is depends. Like whether key characteristics are, it measures the height and sharpness of the peak. So in like look at this picture. So suppose this red color picture, the curve is actually the distribution of the normal distribution, right? Then this kurtosis is actually describes that what is the height and sharpness of the peak. So if the kurtosis is more, then the height and the sharpness will be more, the blue one. If the this kurtosis is less, then we'll see that below the normal, then it will be little flat. So the peak, the sharpness will be little less and it is little flat peak, right? So it is also describe the heaviness of the tail. Now it has some measures also that approximately, if the in case of a normal distribution, the kurtosis value is actually approximately 3, and it is called a leptokurtic. That means it has a heavy tail and sharp peak if your kurtosis is more than 3, and it is called a platykurtic if your this value is less than 3. The kurtosis value is less than 3. So we call in this case it is a little the tail is light and it has a flat peak, right? So these are the geometrical significance of it. And then once you have this, then we should have the mathematical formula, which is again not a big deal. It's a very easy formula. So for the case of an ungrouped data, the kurtosis formula is equal to mu4 by sigma to the power 4, whereas mu is equal to summation of I equal to 1 to n xi minus x bar whole to the power 4 divided by n. Right. So again, it is this kind of formula I have seen in case of a variance. So in this case, it is power 4. It is called the fourth central moment. And the denominator, if you see, the sigma to the power 4, right? So it is sigma square variance square. Correct? And if the data is group data, it is again mu 4 by sigma 4. But in case of a group data, it is the similar kind of formula we'll have for mu 4. It is 1 by n into f into x minus x bar whole to the power 4 divided by variance. For group data, we already know. What is this x? X is the midpoint of each of the class, because in this case the data will be given as a group data. So we'll have some each interval will have. So x is the midpoint of each of the interval, f is the frequency of that class, n is the total number of observation, x bar is the mean for the data, and then mu 4 we already discussed, and sigma square is the variance for the data. Clear? So we can easily able to get what is a kurtosis for group data and ungroup data. Then look at the same example. We have talked about it in several times. So we already calculated its mean, right? What is the mean for this data? We already calculated the mean, which is 27, and we have already calculated its variance, which is 132. Now kurtosis formula is actually mu to the power 4 by sigma to the power 4. So we need to calculate this value for this group data. So we should have that summation of this value divided by n. So let us make a table that will calculate this value. So how you make the table? So you make, this is the class interval. Anyway, for mean also you must have done the table. Now I am assuming that the mean is already calculated. Then this is x is the midpoint. This is the frequency of each of the classes, and x minus x bar, this value, and finally f times x minus x bar whole to the power 4, this value will calculate. So we can easily do that. And then in intervals was given 0 to 10, 10 to 20, right? All the intervals like that. It is given midpoint is 5, frequency is given as 15. So x minus x bar. So here x bar is actually 27. So x minus x bar is minus 22. Then f times x minus x bar whole square. So f times minus 22 whole to the power 4. This one also we can calculate. F is 5. So 5 times this value is equal to 1171280. So this kind of table, please practice is complete the table, right? I'm not wasting the time. Just slowly you finish the table so that you can able to get all the values. Now I'll show you that if you calculate in this way, you can able to finish the table. So this whole value, all the value. Now the kurtosis formula is mu 4 by sigma 4, but how to calculate mu 4? Just add up all this value divided by n divided by sigma squares whole square. So after doing that, we can get this value is 2.333. So this value is less than 3. So it has a flat peak, right? So from this data, we can easily see that, okay, the compared to the normal distribution, it has a little bit flat peak. I hope it is clear. Now the same way this problem again, you can take it as your homework. So just make the video pause and find the kurtosis of the following data and check whether it is more than 3, the value is more than 3, or the value is less than 3. Here it is an example of an ungroup data. And we have taken the references from these books. And I hope these things are very easy. So your job is to remember the formula, understand the significance of this formula, and do the calculation very carefully and slowly. Right? We'll come up with the another topic in the next video. We'll meet in the next video. Thank you very much.